Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark. Celebrating its 10-year anniversary, dominating the podcast world. Now sit back and relax, and let's welcome your hosts, Blake, Sal, and Mark. Muffin Man, Muffin Man, Muffin Man, Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man? Oh, do you know the Muffin Man? Oh, do you know the Muffin Man? Oh, do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the lives on through relay. Oh, do you know?
Welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, episode number 462. I'm your host, Blake, and I'm just going to tell you right at the top, I am not feeling well today, so if I'm a little snippier than normal, that is why. I'm bringing on my co-hosts, the biggest heel in podcasting, Sal, the man who decided to do his opening. This is fantastic. How you doing?
But more importantly, do you know the Muffin Man?
That was amazing. And our other co-host, the man, the myth, legend, Mark Dad. How you doing?
It's just a wonderful day here, and I think I know the Muffin Man. That's the one that lives on Drury Lane, isn't it?
Yes. I've seen that somewhere before. So Sal, what did we just open the show with? That was one of the craziest openings we had in a long time.
So was it from the Jimmy Fallon's late night show or that game show? I don't remember.
That was from oh crap! I watch it every week. I watch the damn show every week. It's the
That's my jam.
That's my jam. It's from That's My Jam.
That's my jam. Okay.
Yes, I watch it every week.
This is Adam Lambert singing "Do You Know the Muffin Man?" in the style of Cher.
So in context, just for people who don't watch That's My Jam, which by the way, if you don't, you should. Especially with the weather show going on. One of the few shows on right now is actually really great. Jimmy Fallon brought all of his wacky music games from his talk show and brought them over to a primetime show with celebrities for charity. Everything's for charity. All the money goes to charity. But they have the wheel. They spin the wheel and they pick a game. And this was the musical impersonations. And they spun the wheel and it came up as you sing a song in the style of another song. So it came up as a Muffin Man in the style of Believed by Cher. And this video went fucking viral right after it happened. And we've been sitting on it for a couple of weeks because we just haven't been here. We haven't been together, the three of us, for a couple of weeks. We were kind of sitting on this one.
But it's just so perfect.
Oh, yeah. I need to get a lap to open the show, too. I did do it. All right. Well, let's get right into things. We have a bunch of stuff going on here, so let's get into things. Help support the show and find all the time you can find the show and our project we work on at theblackesthouseshow.com. Sal.
Yeah, you can buy our shirts, stickers, the hoodies, props, and more from our TeePublic store. Click on the TeePublic link on our website, or go to TeePublic and search the Blake and Sal Show.
Hey, one question, gentlemen. Do we have the Blake and Sal Show with Mark Nightlights in yet?
Put a sticker on our nightlight. That'll items actually available. But actually, be careful with that. You might call the fire. But anyway, we have magnets. So if you got a magnet, put it on the light. I
gotta say, what's going on behind your head?
Well, that's called pyrotechnics. That's not called.
I know, but that looks like a fire, though.
So, all right.
That's his surprise entrance.
All right, let's go to break. We'll come right back. I got to put this up the plug. All right, as always, if you have not picked up Mandy's book, I Know I Am. It's actually officially out 1 full year this week.
Is it really?
Yeah, it came out actually today we're recording. 1 year ago, the day we're recording.
Wow.
So,
wow.
I had the launch party on Mandy's birthday last year, so it's exactly 1 year ago. So,
wow.
You can still pick it up now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Orange Publishing in English and in Spanish. The Nadine and Mandy show is officially back. They recorded their newest show. I actually finished getting all the posts set up right before we came on today. So go listen to their brand new episode. It's made up a couple hours before our show. At all podcasting platforms. So funny. So I'm working this morning. I'm working. It's Wednesday morning on the 17th. I'm working, and I'm listening to the morning show with Carl and Anthony like I do every day. After listening to my wrestling podcast, I jump over to their show, and all of a sudden I start hearing them throw the 2-second tunes. Something me and Sal did earlier this year on their show, and all of a sudden I hear them say, "Mandy and Blake from Milwaukee." I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?" They played our appearance from the end of last year on Wednesday's show.
Oh, nice.
So that was a pretty cool surprise. That was a really cool surprise. Had no clue. That was a really funny moment when I'm back working. All of a sudden I hear our voices on the podcast and not even a clue what was going to happen. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
And one other thing. So obviously it's Mandy's birthday week. And we can hear more about that over on the Nitty and Mandy show. They did a whole discussion about that. And she's been doing Peloton stuff all week because she's been trying to get her shout outs for like milestones, all this kind of stuff all week. Well, Sunday on Mother's Day, there was a 45-minute low impact ride with her favorite bike instructor, Kendall. And there was a few people from the group around the Never Knocked Out crew in studio for this class. And she got her shout out for 1100, but I wanted to play it here because this might be one of the craziest shout outs because of the reaction in the studio to her name being called out.
Let's go.
Hey, I'll be trying that again where actually you can hear it better. Yeah.
Curvy knockout, let's go. You got
Eric.
a over here, girl. Happy 1100. Happy birthday. I love it.
Yeah, they were there was like 3 or 4 of them in the front row and they cheered loud and it threw off Kendall. Completely threw her off. Like, she's not even in the room.
Wait a minute.
Where did that come from?
Wait, it threw off Kendall. Usually nothing throws off Kendall.
It was a really funny moment because like she wasn't even here. Like, wait a minute, how did that reaction come from? That was a really funny moment.
That's great.
I definitely had to share that here. Like I said, you can hear more about her Peloton stuff over on the Nadine and Mandy show right now. But let's get back to us. Because we've been off the last couple of weeks, I wanted to make sure I caught us up on our Blake and Sal show history. First appearances. Our boy Mike. He made his first appearance May 16th, 2013. Officially 10 years with us now on the show.
Wow.
Frankie DeFalco made his first debut on this show on May 12th, 2017. Hitting lead, formerly for Wrestling.net, May 19th, 2017. And Leandra, who is currently in the lead of our predictions this year.
Dude, she killed the last round.
Oh my God. I know I even talked about on Wednesday morning special show. And she made her debut on the show 2 years ago already on May 15th, 2021. A couple notes from the show. Me and Dad did a live road show from the Superfans Fan Festival. And I don't remember, where was this? Where was it? Was it in Milwaukee? Or was
it was in Milwaukee? The Ramada Inn.
Yes, it wasn't that far from us at all. It was actually
which is no longer Ramada Inn, it's another name, but yeah.
Yeah, and that was on May 13th, 2016. And actually it popped up on my Facebook memories. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened. I forgot we did that. That was like a long time ago. I forgot we did that. That was actually where we got like, that's the one where you met at the one where you meet Gene.
Yeah, that's
and I interviewed ODB. I got pictures of Velvet Sky and Melina.
Yeah.
And Marty Jannetty showed up late and then left early.
And he was
as you do.
He was in prime shape.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
May 10th, 2019. Me and TJ sat down for our first episode of Like Father Like Son. There's 5 episodes on our feed from that, including our live panel. We were thinking about coming it back sometime in the next year. So we're thinking about bringing it back. All depends on our schedule and how we can make it work. And finally, our first appearance and interview with Deb Placey, Sal.
Yes.
That was May 9th, 2013. That was one of our early shows.
Yeah.
We were on like every week. Like that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's get out of there. So we always say we want to hear from people. We want to hear from people. Well, right before our anniversary show, I reached out to a bunch of people try to get anniversary stuff for us, right? We did a whole big deal. We had a whole bunch of good time to do that. Well, I reached out to Eric Blythe. from random chatter. And he said, I'm going to call in, but I don't use Discord that often. And I went to Discord and emailed him. And I don't use Discord that often at all. It's just not my thing, not my app. So I deleted Discord and just forgot about it. So I never got a message from Eric. And then he made an announcement of the podcast. I'm like, well, I guess that's why he forgot about us. No big deal. So I went back to Discord for something else. And I got this message from Eric right before our anniversary show. And I'll read it from Eric directly. He said I could share it here. So, hey, didn't want you to think I forgot about you. About an hour after we talked, I was told I have cancer.
Oh, jeez.
And he went into treatment like right afterwards. So he's actually taking time off from his actual podcast over in Chatter. So he's been really distracted. He had a lot of time online, but I would let you know that I'm thrilled about your 10th anniversary. You guys are awesome. This is a major milestone. So please pass it on to the guys. You guys rock.
Wow.
Okay.
So do we have an update?
I haven't. He wasn't online when I messaged him, respond to that, and I haven't heard from him. But he also, I have a feeling I would have heard something by now if it was negative or positive at this point. The last time I heard from him on a podcast, he was going into treatment and he was taking a few weeks off the podcast, and that was a couple weeks ago. So
that's more important.
When I hear more, I will let everybody know.
Well, we send our thoughts and prayers to him, and hopefully that everything goes well.
And also, thanks for the love. That's also really cool. That was really cool. He didn't have to actually get back to us, so that was actually really cool for him to do anyway. So anyway, so I was joking with Sal. But I'm posting up our clips on like TikTok and on YouTube all the time. And I've been saving some of these. And we were supposed to do this 2 weeks ago, but Sal had to be off 2 weeks ago, so I just bumped it to this week's show. I mean, it was going to be a light show for us anyway. I figured I'd bump them to this week's show, not knowing that AEW news is going to break this morning. But we'll get to that. So a couple of comments. These are from TikTok. And Sal, this is when you were unleashing up a Logan Paul. When I was maybe saying that I actually was looking forward to Logan Paul mocked at Majorania, and you yelled at me. You yelled at me.
As I do.
So somebody commented Logan wrestles better than 70% of the roster.
I mean, I would maybe bump that down to like
60,
18%.
18.
Oh,
wow.
Come on!
Wow,
I mean,
I was going to say 50-50.
You gotta give the devil. You gotta give the devil his due. He took this very seriously. He went through the training.
He did,
and everything worked well. And he even injured himself.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, I just thought it was very funny. The reaction was funny. So then you're not the only one who got crap. I went off on Booker T. Remember, I was going off on Booker T a while ago. How much I can't stand his commentary. I still cannot stand the commentary. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about most of the time. I still don't know what he's talking about with him. I'm trying to figure out why. I'll get to this in a second. I'm trying to figure out why Booker T every single week thinks now that he had a catchphrase that he's quoting Lifestyle that is famous. I'm trying to figure this one out. He actually has somewhere in the show, somewhere every episode, he had to find a way to go. What is it? Caviar Dreams. Dad, you know what show I do?
Something Caviar Dreams and Champagne Wishes.
Oh, Champagne Wishes and Caviar Dreams. I don't know why you have to fit that in the commentary every single solitary week. There's no reason for it. I don't understand it.
It's so weird.
I don't get it. So I got a haha, and also got a no one cares Blake. But by the way, I was clown face. By the way, is my least favorite fucking emoji in the entire world.
I was gonna say from a clown.
I hate the clown face emoji. That's number one. Number two, I read that. If everyone watched Scrubs, I read that as nobody cares, Sean. Nobody cares. That's how I read it. I just wanted to share that. And then my personal favorite. Personal favorite comment. But I don't usually react. I figured we should go on the show, but I had to respond to this one because it pissed me off. So Sal, this is right after WrestleMania. And we were talking in Rome, and Sal went and said that he wanted to see Roman win more matches cleanly, which is fair. Absolutely fair. We're probably to hit 1,000 days, and it's absolutely fair.
Correct.
This is something that pisses me off. We do a wrestling, well, not all wrestling, but mostly wrestling podcast here. We talk a lot of wrestling. We're big fans. We'll talk about stuff later. I hate when someone comes at you, and it happens all the time, and I cannot stand it. This is that quote for quote when it popped up on our YouTube. It's still up there if anyone wants to go respond. Wrestling is fake and planned out in advance. Everything is scripted out, and they speak to each other during the match. It's called, calling out your moves. Please don't take this so seriously. Okay.
Wow.
First of all, fuck you. Number 2.
Well, there you go.
Told you I was tippy
Enough
today.
said.
Told you I was tippy today. Number 2. Number 2. The whole thing is, at the end of the day, everyone knows it's scripted. But I hate the fake part. It's not fucking fake. It's not fake. It's real move. People are actually, getting hurt in the ring and doing shit. Hence why, like, half the women's division in NXT right now is hurt. Because people are getting hurt left and right because of injuries and things like that.
The injuries are real. They're not fake. They're not feigned. They're real from doing moves because things happen in the ring that sometimes, you can't control.
But my whole thing here, though, the whole thing, just because something's written out, just because they change, they have to finish it before they go out or whatever. What's the difference? And I've always said this. What is the difference between us enjoying pro wrestling and someone like enjoying Succession? Or someone enjoying, or for me, like I watch Abbott Elementary, or like when like with
or watching like the housewife shows.
Thank you. Like, what is the? There's actually a better example. Actually, that's even better example. Like, what is the difference between getting into reality TV? Like, Sal gets into Big Brother, loves Big Brother. What's the difference? What is the difference? Reality TV is not real reality anyway, so what the hell is the difference?
I was about to say that if you watch a reality show, I can tell you right now that a good portion of it is scripted to get a response from the audience to watch next week's episode.
Actually,
so
as it's reality. Total Divas and Total Bellas, I know Renee Paquette talked about this on her podcast. It's not scripted, it's staged. It's different. It's not scripted. They don't script their lines, but there's stuff that goes on, especially on Total Divas back in the day, that was obviously staged to make drama on the show. Like, it's obviously staged.
I mean,
so like it's the same difference. Like, what's the difference?
I mean, the producers of the housewife shows even said that if there's two housewives that really don't like each other, they push that to see what's going to happen.
And that's fine.
As a result, there you go.
People love the show. Sal, any thoughts?
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. It's like, we've been doing this for 10 years. You would think by now we would have caught on maybe a little bit that, it's not like, UFC legitimate, mixed martial arts, knocking each other out kind of fighting. So thank you, the great Houdid, because, where will we be without you? I mean, thank you for your insight.
I greatly appreciate it.
Okay, and can we end it with a big fuck you?
Yeah, fuck you. I hope you're watching this. Thank you. Anyway, so let's move on to some non-wrestling stuff before we get into the wrestling. Like I said, it's a slow week, which is nice for us because we've been going back to back on PLEs and pay-per-views and all this kind of stuff for the last couple of months. But it's nice to have to have a laid-back show for a change. Actually, nice for a change this week. So there's three major stories before we get into the wrestling stuff, and I'll start us off here. As everybody knows, we're in the middle of the writer's strike in New York and in Los Angeles. People don't realize how serious this is. Some people don't get how serious it is, and I'm pro writers. Just want to throw that out there. I'm very pro writers. But I don't know if you guys have a clue what's going on with the Tony Awards over the last week. The Tony Awards are happening on June 11th. Supposed to be on June 11th.
Not anymore.
Oh, no. I'll explain it. I'll explain this whole thing because this got ridiculous. So June 11th is the Tony Awards. It's happening in Washington Heights, actually, this year because they're moving from the city and went to Washington Heights. Obviously, the writer's strike happens. And everyone's like, well, Tony Awards not going to happen now because it was written and all this kind of, it has to have writers. By the way, I love the fact that award shows can't go on because they're not writers. I cracks me up. I'm not going to lie. That thought of that makes me laugh so hard. So the Tony Awards, apparently there was a waiver that they had to get approved to see if they can get them, at least not to strike the venue, like not have to strike outside the venue and pick at the venue while they're doing the show. And they said, no, we're not doing that. So then they announced the Tony Awards aren't happening. This was Monday. Well, it's now Wednesday. The 20 awards are happening. Here's what happened. So they went in and they said, fine. We will, because the Tony Awards, for those who don't realize Tony Awards, it's very unique. You can get away with the Tony Awards without writing bits. Because I don't watch the Tony Awards for the bits. I watch Tony Awards for performances.
Mhm.
I don't even watch it for the damn awards. I watch it for the performances. All you got to do is do the performances and then have them like, here's the winner of the awards, and then move on. You don't have to do the bits. You don't have to. Tony Awards is very unique like that. You can do that.
True.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're going to do an unscripted award show.
Okay.
All right.
With Tony Awards, with performances, all this kind of stuff, which I'm really excited to see because I've never seen it before. So I'm really excited to see how this works.
Is there a host or co-host on the
I don't
show
know.
that we are aware of?
I don't know because Ariana DeBose is supposed to host it, but she doesn't want to cross the picket line. So there might not even be a host for this thing.
Interesting.
It's going to be an interesting show. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just clarification. It's the writers, correct?
Yes, the writer's strike. Currently, there is a writer's strike going on.
Okay.
So I will.
Okay. So why wouldn't an actress or actor cross it? Because they're not really involved with the writers.
They're supporting the writers. They're supporting them.
Got it.
There's a lot of, like, for instance, like the Casa Lopez versus Lopez is on the picket line supporting their writing team. As an example, I saw pictures of them yesterday.
Okay.
So like I saw pictures of that yesterday. By the way, I think my favorite thing of the writing strike, and Sal knows this, have been the signs. They have been my favorite part of the entire thing, is them being wise asses on their picket signs. Big thing going on. But anyway, so I will say, people are like, well, why can't they just perform the Tony Awards? Why can't this happen? Why does this happen? I want to address something, because a lot of people don't realize this. You could do the movie industry without the Oscars. You can do the TV industry without the Emmys. You can't do Broadway the way Broadway is without the Tony Awards. Mainly because, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of the show Kimberly Akingo?
No.
Okay, that rests my case. Because that is apparently going to be the show that wins a lot of awards. If you don't have the Tony Awards, and you don't have them winning awards to put them on the banner outside of the building, people will not know the show exists and will not go, and it will close within 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Like, it's truth. And it's going to affect Broadway in a negative way coming out of this pandemic. And the worst thing you can do is cancel this award show right now. It's the worst thing they can do.
With the show you just mentioned, the reason I haven't heard of it is I haven't heard media kind of push it.
Exactly. That's my point. It's big in the Broadway circuits, but it's not big nationally. Even South, in New Jersey, and he doesn't even know what the show is. That's my point. That's actually why I wanted to ask that question, because like, if Sal doesn't even know what the show is, and he's in the area of Broadway, there's a problem. Right. Like, people know, like, the Britney Spears musical just started. We're seeing & Juliet in July. Like, there's a whole bunch of shows people know are on. But there were, like, last year, Strange Loop. They won the Tony Award for Best Musical. I never heard of the damn show. Never heard of it until it was announced for Tony Awards. And then I found out the background of it and RuPaul's involvement and all this kind of stuff, but I didn't know it existed. And that show won the Tony Award. It was up for almost a year when it was about to close. So, like, those are the kind of things that Tony Awards are important for Broadway. So, like, people that are like, they don't understand that. So I just want to make sure I address that here, because it's a very, very big deal for this show to keep going.
Do we know how long this strike may go?
No idea. The last one last like 6-7 months.
It was a long time.
Yeah, last time. The last writer's strike lasted like 6-7 months. And like, everything was delayed. Everything got thrown off. Like,
I remember it started in the winter, like either right after Christmas or right before Christmas. And I only remember that because Big Brother did a winter season. And it lasted pretty much up until the summer. So, yeah, it was about 6-7 months. Yeah,
because I know Scrubs got affected by that because their 7th season is like short because of the strike.
So now with these networks that have like canceled shows and not renewed shows, is there a good possibility that they may keep these shows on until things get resolved?
If they don't have writers, they can't write shows. They can't make new episodes.
They'll just have to. I guess this will be a rerun season for a while.
My personal favorite is me and Sal were going through the upfronts, which we'll get to the upfronts for Warner Brothers. And ABC, the bunch of wise asses that they are. They are a bunch of wise asses over at ABC decided, fuck it. Fuck it. We're going to do whatever the hell we want. And instead of being like, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do reruns. Here is the line. I have it right in front of me. This is the lineup for ABC's Upfronts, for ABC's fall lineup next year.
Got it.
Monday, Dancing with the Stars is moving back from Disney Plus to ABC. They're doing The Golden Bachelor, which is pretty much an elderly version of The Bachelor. Tuesday is Celebrity Jeopardy and Bachelor in Paradise. Wednesday is Judge Steve Harvey. Abbott Elementary repeats, exactly how it's written here, by the way. And What Would You Do? Thursday is Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, Press Your Luck, and the $100,000 Pyramid. I'm not joking. And then Friday is Shark Tank in 2020.
Yay.
I'm just the bunch of white asses already put the line together. I cracked up laughing at that. I'm not gonna lie.
Here's the thing. And then NBC's gonna wonder why they're losing viewers because they're putting on programming.
They don't have a choice. They don't have a choice, though.
I understand
they don't have a choice.
Here's my thing. If there's a writer's strike, okay, how do you do shows like Today and Good Morning America and things like that?
I can answer your question. There's no late night shows right now. Like Jimmy Fallon and all that are not on the air right now.
But I'm talking about like Today Show.
I don't know. They're mostly news. They're mostly news, so you can get away with like doing a news show. Like Kelly Clarkson's still doing her show.
Okay.
While also supporting the writer's strike. So I have a feeling she doesn't have a lot of writers on her staff, but she's still supporting it. She's just doing her show because she really, at the end of the day, her show was interviews and singing. That's her show. So she can get away with doing her show without writers.
Yeah.
Or like the late night shows, they don't have any comedy writers. Well, the comedy writers are gone, but they can't do their shows. Maya Bialik walked off Jeopardy.
That was the reason?
Yeah, she walked off Jeopardy because she wanted to support the writers.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know that. I know she did that, but I didn't know why.
That's the reason. Okay. That's the reason. So like this is going on. It's crazy all the shit that's going on.
Wow.
So let's move on to something else strange.
Okay.
That me and Sal woke up to in the hockey world. This story gets stranger every fucking year, Sal. I swear to God, this gets stranger every year. It really does. Go for it.
I don't know what their beef is with the team, but Tempe, Arizona did not go forward with the plan for the new arena for the Arizona Coyotes, meaning they will most likely be leaving Arizona soon.
Oh, no.
So currently, the Arizona Coyotes, we found out they were supposed to break ground for a new arena. Was it next year? So I think it was next year, something like that?
Yeah, 2024, I believe.
But so they're currently playing in the Mullet Arena. And for those who don't know the Mullet Arena, we've been making jokes about this all year. The Mullet Arena is University of Arizona's hockey arena.
Yes, seats 5,000 people.
Yeah, they're currently playing an NHL franchise at right now. They're supposed to be temporary. It's supposed to be 3 years.
And it's funny how their logo is at center ice with the college teams as well.
It's hysterical. It's so funny. That was the negotiation. That was the negotiation for that.
Yes, because originally they weren't allowed to have their
they're the front section. They're in the student section in the building. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole thing.
If the Coyotes are looking for some place to go, look at Wisconsin, baby.
Nope, I can't. They're not going to do that.
Why not?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, do you even know the original 6 fees that go along with moving a team into Milwaukee right by Chicago? There's fees that involve that. Not a team. That's why they don't bring it to the NHL to Milwaukee. It's because they would have to pay the Blackhawks to move in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's why the Devils pay the Rangers, and so do the Islanders. Not a joke. I never knew that. It was in a book I read. It's actually in a book in a hockey history book I read. I didn't know that either. It was actually
like a one-time thing or every year.
I don't know what the deal is, but I know they paid them to make the franchise, to get the franchise moved in.
Okay. So then everyone kind of gets a piece of the pie then.
Yeah, it's a weird situation.
Well, then why can't they just go back to Quebec? Because they've been begging for a team.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor going around that Quebec is a choice. I heard Seattle's a choice. That's Seattle. Seattle's right there. Quebec's a choice. I heard Kansas City's a choice.
Sacramento, I think I heard too.
Sacramento's another thing. Like there are options out there.
How about Hawaii?
Good luck with that. Good luck. There's a reason why they stopped doing the Pro Bowl out there. There's a reason. Although, did you know that when the Pro Bowl was in Hawaii, because the show it was never sold out due to NFL contracts, they could not air the game locally in Hawaii.
Why?
Because you
I
can't
heard
air
that.
they can't air a game locally in your city if the same stadium is not
That's
legit sold out.
correct.
Like if the Packers aren't sold out, they can't air games in Milwaukee.
What?
If the Jets and the Giants are not sold out, you cannot watch the game on local TV.
You have to go to another affiliate.
That's not a joke. That is not a joke. That is legit.
What?
I
Yep.
read that in an NFL contract a few years ago.
That makes no sense.
So like that's and I don't know if that's changing that soon, but I remember like a couple of years ago that was a big deal. That like if the stadium was not legit sold out, they would not allow to air the game in the local market.
Well, okay. Just weird. I don't get that at all. Then again, I don't run the NFL, so who knows?
I just say I remember that rule a couple of years ago. That was a weird one.
Okay.
So all right, let's move on to breaking news that happened in ESPN. And I'll have Dad just read this one because I want to hear his reaction to this story. I know I didn't tell him, so I already he doesn't know until just now. So go ahead, Dad.
Okay, all right. Pat McAfee announced that his daily talk show will be moving to ESPN, ESPN Plus, ESPN YouTube, signing with ESPN for 4 years for a grand total of $120 million. Wow.
That's insane.
That's
a pretty good
insane
paycheck.
money for 4 years.
Yeah.
What does he think? He thinks he's Aaron Rodgers?
They offered him this contract. He didn't
I know
ask
that.
for this contract.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the best part. He was offered this contract.
So this shows you that they really want to keep him because if someone else gets him, so
WWE.
I still think he's got that little clause that he can.
I don't know what the deal is. ESPN and WWE have a relationship, so I don't see that being an issue if he wants to come back to make some appearances. I don't see an issue with that.
Night of Champions. There you go.
Well, one thing that's interesting. Oh, he's not going to go to Saudi Arabia. One thing that's interesting is that it's going to be the same show. They're literally going to be on in the afternoons on all ESPN everywhere.
You got it.
Coming in the fall. The only caveat, there's one caveat that they had to agree to, was they can't use the word fuck.
Oh shit! I'm sorry,
but they can't say that. They can't do that. That's the funniest part. When Pat explained it, I watched the video they put up on Instagram. That's why I know all the information. He said we can't use the word fuck, but because of the popularity of the Last Dance on Michael Jordan, we can use any other curse word. We just can't use fuck.
So that's the only word they cannot.
Exactly.
So they can say. They can say anal thunder cunt, and that would be okay.
I don't know why he would say that. I don't know why he would say that.
Glory hole.
But yeah, that's something. That's a thing.
Wow.
Okay. Can we make anal thunder cunt the name of the show?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That one I won't even agree to. I won't even agree to. Wow. So that being said, that'll be our transition. Wait, I think that'll be our transition.
Anal thunder cunt?
And now, let's go to the crazy world of professional wrestling.
So we were in here last week. We were in here last week, and obviously we had Backlash the week before. And normal circumstances, we don't even review pay-per-views unless something major happens. But I can't ignore what went down in Puerto Rico. I just can't ignore it because it was such a crazy atmosphere and a crazy environment for the 2 days they were there. And I went into the to Peacock, and I got this audio that I have to play because this crowd reaction might be one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life.
Here on the island that made hardcore famous, Buddy's got boys. All legal. Understand law, straight fight rules. He's got to feel like the loneliest man on the island.
So, Puerto Rico was unbelievable Friday and Saturday, a couple weeks ago, for SmackDown and Backlash. That entrance is unreal. And by the way, so I found out the song that he came out to, one of his oldest songs, and it charted immediately right after
Wow, really?
the show, because people were like, I want to hear the song again, but out the crowd, and it charted immediately after the show. Sal, I know you didn't watch the show live. We did watch the show live. You didn't watch the next day. And you were kind of giving me some shit as you were texting me as you're watching the show. But overall, I love the small set. I love this crowd. I love the reactions. I love the singing. Sal, what do you think of Puerto Rico, especially for a Backlash?
It was a very, very good crowd. I think I mentioned in the when we were texting that this is now going to be the stereotypical stadium setup because they just have that weird L ramp with absolutely no stage at all and whatever. I mean, it is what it is. If you want to maximize capacity and you want to make as much money as you can out of it, you can't have any blocked view. So, I mean, I get it. I know a lot of people were saying, permanently move Backlash to Puerto Rico every year. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, maybe 2-3 years, but I wouldn't do every single year. I don't think that would be fair to other places that might want to host it. Now there's talks about them wanting to do a show, I think in September in Australia.
Yeah, that's happening from my heard. That's happening from
yeah, I do like this move though. I do like this move. You do have fans around the world. I never really understood why they never really left America all that much. So I think this is fantastic. I think I'm assuming this is all Triple H and very, very smart because, like I said, you have fans around the world. You're going to make a lot of money doing this because they don't see you ever. So this is a great opportunity for them to really advance and get a broader audience, I guess you can say. On top of that,
I think SummerSlam is the only PLE happening so far that's been announced this year that's in America. I think it's the only one.
Pretty much.
Next one's in Saudi Arabia. Money in the Bank's in the UK, and then there's the September show that might be in Australia.
Right.
It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. It's fun. I like it. I absolutely love it a lot. It's cool to hear other places and other environments. Dad, your thoughts on Puerto Rico and going more international with PLEs?
Right. I think they're doing what worked way back in probably the 80s, where they did Universal, or they did tours that went to other countries, England, Ireland, the whole UK and Europe. I think they're getting back to that to basically get their product out and want to reach out to those fans that they haven't been to venues for a while. So I think this is a good thing for them, and I think it's going to be profitable for it. And God bless Triple H and creators are saying, okay, let's reach out and let's try this and see how it works. And so far, it's been a good response. And I don't think I've heard any really negative response from doing this.
No, absolutely not. I think the only thing was like the next show is Saudi and the next one is in the UK, so the time zone difference obviously for us it's going to be crazy. By the way, you know something that happened today? I don't remember the last time they ever did this. WBD sent out emails and text messages and all social media today announcing a summer tour. And they announced all of their dates in cities and everything from Friday all the way till SummerSlam. Everything.
Okay. Wow.
From house shows to SmackDown and Raw to even to Battleground on there. Everything's on here, including a house show tour in the UK leading up to Money in the Bank. So like nice. they literally announced today every single stop. It looks like they're doing a show at the Garden in July. So like I think that's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen them do that, where they literally put out an entire summer tour like that right before Memorial Day. I think that's pretty cool. That's something different I've never seen before.
You know, you got to get your product out, and this is the way to do it. And,
great.
You know, great for doing it. I mean, we're going back to something that worked, a couple decades ago, and, it's working. So, let's hope, and I'm crossing my fingers, that this good luck continues for them, and it's able to basically have their product get out there and have more coverage.
So, okay, I'm going to ask a poll for the show. In the past, we don't preview Saudi shows. We have not previewed Saudi shows over the years. We've had our reasons. Mm-hmm. I know me and Mandy had to talk about this the other night. The Saudi shows used to be crap. Not gonna lie, they used to be terrible. They used to be these standalone shows that just kind of happened, and we dealt with stupid matches and stupid main events that we come on here and vent about. Like, why the fuck did that happen?
Right. And
I think it was last year. It was the Chamber last year that kind of changed things a little bit, where they're taking things more seriously. They're not just like, hey, look, the Saudi prince wants this, so we're going to do this. We're actually putting on a normal show, a normal PLE, and important PLEs out there. Next week is Night of Champions. We already are previewing Battleground, and we're already previewing Double or Nothing. Do we want to throw Night of Champions on our schedule next week? I don't mind it. I just want to know your opinions.
I would like to make a prediction that we will have a new tag team champion. So yes, we should preview it.
Okay, we'll preview that next week. Dad, your thoughts?
I don't mind previewing it because the way things are set up, especially the matches, is that it makes you want to watch the program. I mean, they're getting you hooked with the storyline. So here's the thing. Storylines are really done well, and that's the way they're supposed to be leading into this next show, which is fantastic. The situation, for personal reasons, I think it's going to be more. It'll be more kind of open, but now that Vince isn't so much in control and Paul is, I think you're going to see how the storyline basically smoothly goes in to the show.
One other thing I want to note. So, you know how we were talking about after WrestleMania, Vince was in charge of that Raw after Mania, yada, 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 yada. So, apparently, I think something happened backstage, and it got up after the merger and everything. Because apparently, backstage at WWE, the office that always had Vince's office on it is no longer Vince's office. It's Paul Levesque's office now. So that's a big deal backstage. That's a very, very big deal to everyone backstage. And I've noticed the shows have been more cleaned up lately. Like, I actually been outside of the weird tournament we just had. Other than that, I've actually been really enjoying the post-draft shows. Like, I'm really enjoying things. Like, I like how they're doing things and how they're bringing people in. And like, you told me that 6 months ago we're having a Grayson Waller effect on SmackDown. I would never believe you. I would not have believed you that was going to happen this week already. We're getting that on Friday.
Or Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, Cameron Grimes did a freaking squash match on Friday night. Like, it's crazy to me that this is going on. So I just want to throw that out there. That's news going on in the back. And we were worried about that a couple months ago. So that's something I wanted to throw out there. All right. I guess we should talk about AEW.
I did not read ahead, by the way, so this is going to be all.
Okay, so here's the problem. I want to say there's more news than there is. I want to.
Wait, they didn't say anything else?
That's okay. First of all, let's talk about All In. All In's happening. We know that.
Right.
We don't know how it's airing here yet. That's the problem. But we know that they sold 64,154 tickets as of this recording.
Nice.
At Wembley Stadium, which people were projecting maybe 40,000 max, and they're almost at 65,000 tickets.
And I guarantee you there's going to be viewing for standing room only, too.
I know the attendance for the show is 72,000 from what I read. So they're very close to selling out the tickets they have available. And the show is at the end of August. And we're in March. I mean, in May. We're in May. Like,
I was going to say,
my brain. The times today I wrote down a 3 instead of a 5 on my paperwork at work. That's how out of it I've been this week. How many times I did that today? But we're in May. But think about that. An end of August show was almost completely sold out at one of the biggest stadiums in the world. Like, that is crazy. So the upfronts, for those listening, were up this morning. And trust me, I was excited when I saw the upfront time. Like, it's going to be before our show. We'll have all this breaking news. We'll have all this great stuff to talk about. And boy, that was a disappointment. That was a fucking disappointment. I'm so mad about this because, like, well, you could have just made the big announcement, the TV show announcement, and moved on. But they had everyone hyped up for this big new deal and all this kind of stuff. So if you look at your run sheet, you can see the graphic for the brand new television show starting on June 17th called AEW Collision. That'll be on TNT weekly on Saturday nights. A 2-hour show on Saturday nights.
2 hours?
Yep, a 2-hour show on Saturday nights from 8 to 10 Eastern time. I'm not joking. It's a live show.
But people are drinking at that hour.
Well, that's happening.
Among other things.
Oh, I told Mandy, I know what I'm watching on Sunday mornings now. Because most of my plans are on Saturday nights, or we're traveling, or one reason or another. I'm not going to be home just going to watch wrestling on Saturday night. I love pro wrestling. I love this thing. I've been doing this for a decade. There's too much fucking wrestling on television. There's too much fun.
Well, I've been saying that for how long now? But so, I mean, obviously you're not going to know, but I mean, is this going to be another Dynamite where there's storyline and stuff, or is it going to be another Rampage where it's just like throw people on the show?
From what I've heard, it's going to be like a soft kind of brand split kind of a thing because it's going to be difficult for them to do, like, we need this whole crew here on Wednesday and then come out on Saturday and maybe we'll do a house show too and then all that kind of stuff. So they're going to separate the roster a little bit because they have a big ass roster with a lot of people we don't see on television.
Right.
So it sounds like they're going to be able to use more of their roster on the Saturday show with actual storylines and actual stuff going on and actual things to follow along with the pay-per-views and things like that. And CM Punk.
And I assume this also means no more Saturday pay-per-views.
That's a good question that I have an answer to. I know All In and All Out are both on Sundays.
Right.
So that's the thing. Now we were hoping, and there's a whole bunch of rumors going around from like the Torch and from Wrestling Inc. and from House of Hoffman and all the places saying that they're going to be a renewal deal. They're going to get close to $1 billion. They're going to get this new show and they're going to get a streaming rights deal and the pay-per-view is going to move to Max and all that stuff. And none of that was announced today.
Well, I mean, Tony Khan is making an announcement tonight. So, I mean, granted, not the, $1 billion or whatever, but he might be making the Max announcement.
I hope. One would think you would have announced that at the upfronts. So you think? Like.
Oh, and here's another question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, really quick. Is Collision going to be like taped after Dynamite?
No, they're doing it live. They're doing it live. They're doing it live.
Wow.
From what I've heard, it's going to be Wednesday nights. It's going to be Dynamite Rampage, and Saturday nights will be Collision ROH.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's
what I heard today.
So we're giving up on YouTube?
The what's it called? Dark and Dark Elevation got canceled.
Yes.
They canceled those a couple weeks ago.
Oh, bravo, TK!
Yes.
Bravo, fucking
You must have missed that announcement because John broke that announcement to me because he watched the show for some reason, and he saw on Fight TV. I give him shit for it all the time. So he saw on Fight TV on his app on his end in the UK that it was the series finale of Dark a couple weeks ago.
Fantastic. Good
and
job.
Dark Elevation were canceled a couple weeks ago. So.
Well, now, okay, I keep like coming up with like
fine. That's what we're here for. Go.
Why not take this opportunity to make it an ROH show?
Because Warner Discovery doesn't want Ring of Honor.
But it's a part of the company.
Technically, Shad Khan owns AEW. Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor. Technically, they're making this deal with Shad Khan.
Oh.
Tony Khan personally owns Ring of Honor.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he actually took money out of his own pocket to pay for Ring of Honor.
So the way it is set up now is the show Ring of Honor is going to be taped after Collision, but then you'll be able to watch it on Honor Club, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I thought about this today. I thought about this before we came on. So this is currently up top of my head. This is the TV lineup of the top of my head. Monday Night Raw, Tuesday night NXT, Wednesday night Dynamite, Thursday night is Ring of Honor and Honor Club and Impact Wrestling. Friday night SmackDown, which might actually be the best show of the week, and also Impact does pay-per-views on Fridays. I'm not joking. That's the thing they do. And Ring of Honor is running pay-per-views on Fridays. And then Saturday will now be Collision. And Saturday night will also be WWE PLEs, more than likely. And then Sunday be AEW pay-per-views. But here's the problem. Tony Khan doesn't want to go up against the NFL. So I don't know if they're what's going to happen in November with the pay-per-view in November.
Right.
If they don't want to go up against the NFL and they have the Saturday night show, do they do a best of show Collision if they go out the pay-per-view? Right? It's a good question, right? Like it's it's not about today. Like
it's an interesting question, and I think Tony's still pushing for Ring of Honor to get a deal besides Honor Club, and I have no idea how that's going to go. I mean, there are other streaming services that I'm sure that would love to have the program on. It's just which one is going to be profitable and willing to work with you and your organization.
Well, the thing with Ring of Honor is, and here's the funny part is, I love Ring of Honor. I don't have the time for it. I don't have the time. I was watching it on Fridays when I was doing laundry. But like, why am I watching this show? That doesn't matter. Like, why am I wasting my time watching this show? Like, a bunch of matches that don't matter. Title matches that obviously are not going to have title changes because it's pre-recorded, so you would have heard about it by now. Like, why am I wasting my time on this show? Like, Dad watches it, but he also has more time than I do. So, like, I don't watch it anymore. Like, it's sad. I gave up on the weekly TV show after like 3 weeks at a pay-per-view. So I'm like, I don't watch everything anymore. I haven't watched Impact, in 5 years? Legitimately haven't watched that show in 5 years. And like, I'll check in. I follow along with what's going on. Like, if something major happens, we'll bring it up here, like we did with Josh Alexander and Mickey James a few weeks back. You're off that week, Sal. We talked about it on the show, like their injuries and things like that. Like, we'll talk about it, but like, I don't watch it. Don't time. And MLW had a fucking show somewhere. I don't know when the hell that airs anymore.
It used to be on a channel called Reels, but
oh yeah, did you hear this controversy, Sal? So Reels, MLW has his contract with Reels. Reels is it's one of those low-key channels, but it's a very popular show on. I think there's a police show on it that's very, very popular.
Oh yeah.
So Reels then gets bought by Peacock. They get streamed on Peacock. But here's the problem. MLW can't air on Peacock because of the exclusivity contract with WWE.
Oh.
We'll get this. Reels has what they call also a Reels Plus, but there's a show that's missing that you can't see.
I know, exactly. MLW can't air anywhere because of WWE exclusivity.
Correct.
On streaming sides. They can't do it because of these universal contracts. So now they're no longer on Reels.
So they have no home.
So now I think they're on BN Sports and on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
I forgot. They signed they just announced they're going to be on Fight Plus, where like GCW and all them are. They're gonna so like they're under that bundle, which is actually a good deal. It's like $7.99, and you get like GCW and ICW and now MLW and all that kind of stuff. It's actually a really good price for all the stuff you get, especially all the GCW shows that there are. That's actually a really good deal. So like,
here's my little rant on stuff. You've had products on syndication or another network that you could watch for free, except when it came to pay-per-views. Now they're forcing you to go to a streaming service or something where basically a show that you used to watch for free, you now have to pay for.
Oh, didn't NWA do the same thing? Where they were free on YouTube for like 2 years, and then they went behind a paywall because no one was watching their show and they were losing money, and then nobody bought.
So my thing
and they're
is
back
this.
on YouTube again.
So here's my thought on this. You're going to have these shows on these streaming platforms where you have to pay, and if no one's buying them, who's going to watch it? And then what happens next?
I think what happened here was the Fight Plus deal is great for GCW, and a lot of indie fans picked it up for GCW. A lot of people did, because they have a show every week practically at this point. Like every week, at least 2 shows, 3 shows a month. So it's worth the price for GCW. So when you're already getting the bundle, you might as well add other stuff to it. And if people watch it because they're bought for GCW, it's a smart move in that front. I understand that, because most people that are watching MLW, aside of you, Dad, of course, but like people like you, most people that are watching MLW are hardcore fans anyway. So you might as well jump over the hardcore fans already are. You might as well.
Yeah. I mean, there is on Roku, there's an app, there's a channel, the Pro Wrestling Network, and there you can watch Warrior Wrestling. I'm very
terrible app, by the
way. I like Warrior Wrestling. Don't get me wrong. I love the talent.
Warrior Wrestling, let's clarify, Warrior Wrestling is a local promotion here in this area. Continue.
Yeah. I love the talent, and the talent gets around on indie, and these are people that we've seen before. But the storyline, creative, and the announce team, God almighty, someone fix that.
I know, it's awful. It's absolutely terrible. So no, the whole platform is terrible. To be honest with you, the whole platform is awful.
I mean, the talent is great, and the talent saves the show, but the rest of it is like.
So I think that is where we're going to leave us, and we will. We'll end the show. Actually, let's get out of here. I will hit. Unless anyone has anything else before I hit the button.
Yes, before we get to fight, send your prayers and your thoughts to Billy Superstar Graham's family. Billy Superstar Graham, and I got a notification from DDP. He's on life support.
Say your tribute, and then I'll check about something else. Gotta go.
He's on life support. Family doesn't know what they're gonna do, but they're telling people to send their prayers and well wishes, and they're not sure how much longer he will be on life support, but it looks like we're going to lose another legend very soon.
So just so we don't end the show on a sad note, the reason I started chuckling, I'm going to give Dad a little shit here because I can.
Right.
Can. Sal, if you get notification on Facebook, do you then say, Wrestling Inc. sent me this story? Or People Magazine sent me this notification? Or Frankie DeFalco just happened to send this to me? Did you say that?
No.
That does all the time. All the time. Why I chuckled. Because he was like, I got this notification from DDP.
I know. I was like, oh, you two are friends now? Like,
dude, this all the damn time. That's my favorite thing. My favorite thing lately. The thing is, I said it like, for instance, remember we were joking on the show about a month ago when Dad's always like 3 days behind on the news. He's always 3 days behind for some reason or another. So I, being the good son-in-law that I am, set him up Wrestling Inc. now has a newsletter that shows you email that sets up the news for the day. So I subscribed him to it, just so he wasn't behind on the news anymore. Makes sense, you know? All of a sudden, he's just coming in the room. So I heard from Wrestling Inc. The funny part is, it's news that me and Mandy heard about hours ago on Wrestling Inc. website. Like, we knew all this stuff already. Like, you and me have had a full conversation about it. We have a full conversation about it already. So I just wanted to give a little shit because it makes me laugh every time he does that.
I'm like the odd man out, I guess.
Oh my God. So that being said, let's do this. So we have obviously Little Mermaid's coming out soon. And me and Mandy have been getting into a lot of punk covers, and there's a band called Punk Rock Factory that released 3 albums of punk rock versions of Disney music.
Okay.
And one of them is Under the Sea from Little Mermaid. So I figured, let's close the show with this. Why not?
Okay.
Sal, take it away. Go.
I got a message from Blake on Facebook for more information on our show, including where you can find us on social media. Or watch the show on our YouTube page that has not been canceled. Talking to you, Tony Khan. Go to theblakeandtasha.com. Don't forget to comment and leave a rating and review, and we will read it on the show and make fun of you. And go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I gotta say your thing.
Hey, I just got this message from Salhausen that basically says I should say my thing, so I'll say my thing. Hey, Roman Reigns, love him or hate him, right now he's the big money man, so hopefully things may change. Who knows? Everything is possible. Hey, if you have a local independent wrestling organization where you live at, please patronize these people. These other young men and women, they're coming up in the world of professional wrestling, sports entertainment, that want to basically get to that other echelon into a major organization and get notoriety and be famous. But they got to start at the bottom, and hey, you can see these people and do amazing things, and look at their gimmicks and finishers, and you be the judge. But go see them and have a great time. And hey, let's be a little bit kinder to everyone out there. We are the only people we got, and we only have one world.
I love how he says that, but we were just talking shit about somebody that wrote something on YouTube.
I love it.
Literally.
So I got a message from John that they're going to be on the show next week. The whole is AEW Down or Nothing. But also, we're going to be talking about champions, talking about Battleground. I'm working on getting somebody else on the show, but he hasn't got back to me yet, so I don't know if it's coming on yet. But John,
I got no from him.
John will also be talking about their experience at Effie's Big Gay Brunch UK that they attended last week. And
I'm so jealous of all those pictures.
Yeah, there are pictures up on our Instagram page that he sent me, and they're all up, so go enjoy those. So let's get out of here for this week. I'm Blake.
I'm Sam.
I'm Mark.
And you're listening to the Blake and Sam Show with Mark. Have a good day, everybody.
Hey, we love you guys, and keep sending in your wonderful reviews.
These little suckers, hot in a right here, I don't see. These little snails, how to whale, that's why it's hot to hot any water. And we're in the down in the bucket under the sea.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
Bye-bye, bitch.